Jim may catch these, but you were talking about your first time in the U.S. and language, and then you said first time in U.S. quite a few times, which is because it's the United States of America. You need the. So that caught me at first. You were sort of making fun of your first day, but then you were still using incorrect grammar. So I think it could have been just be careful of it, and then you don't draw attention to that little silly thing. Yeah.
Yes.
I think you can work on even making the last line even punchier, and maybe something like along the lines, and I think somebody else said this, of if you can handle that, you can handle anything, or like with Toastmasters, a lot of times speaking is scarier than deaf, so if you can handle that, speaking's easy, you know, or something like that.
And Venkat, I had one point. One thing that, other than the points that were covered, one thing that I found a little distracting was you tend to keep going a little backwards. See if you can come up there and, you know, just give us your full presence right here. That's just one other point. Anybody else for Venkat?
Just a quick one. I'd move your first joke sooner in the speech. Like have them laughing in like the first 2 or 3 sentences. Or so, because you had a bit of an exposition before you started. I think if you start with a joke right away, it would hook us a bit.
Atul.
I've heard you speak many times, and one thing I've noticed you do is that you do a funny head movement, like you go put your head into a circle or something like this. You know, you hold your nose and you turn your head around. It's jarring to me, and I've not told you this before, but I'm going to tell you now because you're at Next Step. So I think you want to control how many times you nod your head or you shake your head, and when you do it deliberately with a purpose. You might want to see that on the video.
Time for one last one. Next Step style.
He'd put, I would like to, or something like that. Never the conditional, just say it.
Good. Thank you, Sharon.
Venkat, one of your expressions was when you were talking to the agent, you asked her, has she ever drove topless? You should have said, have you ever driven topless? Just a different sense. You used a lot of, in this particular tape, you said got into home rather than I arrived at home. Or I got back to home instead of saying I got back home. So just remember that.